Shalom to the royal family of Israel. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahweh and His mighty Son, Yahweh B'Hashem and Mashiach Yahushua. Today's story is Crackdown. China orders all citizens to hunt down all religious books.
An important report about what's happening to religious freedom in China. Bob Fu is a Chinese-American pastor who founded China Aid, which provides legal aid to Christians in China. Well, last Thursday, he tweeted, quote, "New cultural revolution starts in hashtag CCP China." This notice to students in a first grade class demanding all parents and teachers to hunt all religious books, antagonistic books, and overseas books, including books and videos that are copied, duplicated, and translated. Everyone is mandated. CBN News Chief International Correspondent Gary Lane is here with more on this story. So, Gary, is this a sudden development? Why is it happening now?
Well, you know, the Chinese Communist Party's modus operandi is to indoctrinate all students into the Chinese Communist Party way. And so this is just more of that. But this includes Bibles, George. But why is it happening now? Because guess what? We've got an Olympics coming up, and the Chinese Communist government does not want any disruption for the Olympics. So they really fear that there could be protests, pro-democracy movement going, and so forth, leading up to the Olympics and during the Olympics. So this sends a message to the parents, look, no outside influence.
So as you see here, China has ordered for all of their teachers concerning first grade class students to hunt down all teachings, all religious books. As a matter of fact, read this message by Bob Fu.
New cultural revolution starts in hashtag CCP China. This notice to students in a first grade class demanding all parents and teachers to hunt down all religious books, antagonistic books, and overseas books, including books and videos that are copied/duplicated and translated. Everyone is mandated. CCP controlled 3 self-church sings. Without the Communist Party, there would be no new China. The choir waves Communist Party flags on the pulpit. CBN News senior international correspondent Gary Lane says this is not only just another effort by the Chinese Communist Party to indoctrinate students, but it's also trying to prevent disruptions for the 2022 Winter Olympics, which will be held in Beijing next February. We've got an Olympics coming up, and the Chinese Communist government does not want any disruptions for the Olympics, Lane says during an interview during Monday's edition of CBN News Watch. They really fear there could be protests, a pro-democracy movement going, and so forth, leading up to the Olympics and during the Olympics. So this sends a message to the parents. Look, no outside influence. We don't want any collusion with foreigners here because they know that foreigners are pro-democracy, Lane explained. And so they are indoctrinating students, but they are also targeting not only the youth of China, but also sending a message to the adult. But how does this new cultural revolution differ from Mao's cultural revolution back in the 1960s? Mao's cultural revolution back in 1966 through 1979 targeted many intellectuals, anyone that he considered to be an opponent of communism. Lane noted, it was very violent back then. He had youth gangs that rounded up people and they were thrown in prison. There were massacres. As many as 20 million people may have been killed by Mao during the Cultural Revolution. So this one is less violent. This one is a quiet revolution that's happening inside China, he said. Lane observed that a similar crackdown is happening in Hong Kong, where the once independent Apple Daily newspaper was shut down on June 24th. The newspaper is no longer allowed to go to print. 7 of their editors and leaders have been arrested for foreign collusion, he said. The newspaper founder, Jimmy Lai, was also arrested. This is very serious. A pro-democracy newspaper, the lone remaining voice of democracy in Hong Kong, the editors rounded up, founder in prison, and no more printing in Hong Kong. This shows that the Communist Party is fully in control here, Lane added. We need to be praying for Hong Kong because one country, two systems is no longer in existence.
So you see here, the upcoming 2022 Winter Olympics is the so-called reason why the communist China decided to take such a hardline approach. In all actuality, this is something that they've been wanting to do anyway. They call it the New Cultural Revolution. See, the problem is communism cannot exist in an environment where you have powerful influences such as religion. As long as religion exists, it really tempers a communist ideology. Everything has to be Xi Jinping's way, and they're not going to have it any other way. So we have a confounding situation, Brother Andrew, because there are Israelites that live in China.
That's true. You know, you see around, if you look around these Israelites videos, even on our channel, right? We'll show you this picture of a 12 tribes chart, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But the Israelites do not only live over here in what the so-called Americas, right? Babylon and the pieces of land connected to it. We are all over, scattered across the earth, and that's what the word says. So yeah, there's Israelites out there in China, and it's going down for them, right? The word is they're getting rid of their religious books, which obviously is going to include the Bible. These Israelites out there are not going to have the word anymore, right? So it is going down. It is starting, guys.
Well, you know, one of the things that is of the utmost of importance that Israelites have to remember, this right here is going to happen everywhere, folks. It's not only going to just happen there in China. This is something that is prophesied. It's part of prophecy where the time is going to come, folks, and I want you to pay attention, Israelites, where the oppressors, just like they're in China, are going to come and they're going to take that word away. You see, if we go to the book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 10, Yahweh said, "And he saith unto me, seal not the sayings of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand." See, the time is at hand. The time is at hand that the words in the Bible are going to be taken away from us. As a matter of fact, Brother Andrew, let me get the book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 26.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8, verse 26. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. Right? It's saying the vision of the evening and the morning which was told true. Right? The vision is about to be shut up, meaning our knowledge, right? Our access to the word is about to be shut up, right? Our vision, going with the terminology of the verse, right? Your vision of the word, right? You can't see it no more, right? And it's for it shall be for many days, meaning these last days, right? The end, right? Many days shall we not have the word anymore. So you shouldn't, people are gonna be running around and scrambling. It's Israelites out here not gonna know what to do because they didn't study enough. You need to get this in your mind already. You need to know all 613 of these commandments.
Now watch this. And what you said is very, 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 very keen. You said that knowledge will be shut up. And I got a precept. Let me get the book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4.
The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
So right here, the Lord is telling you that these words are going to be taken away from you. And it's saying to the time of the end, it can be taken away right now. Like for those people that are out there right there in China, it's going to be taken away from you until the end. That means until the day that Yahweh shows up. What if Yahweh don't come for a year, 6 months, 2 years? So for you Israelites that keep playing with the game, you better open up this book and you better start studying to show yourself approved. You better let these words sear into your foreheads, because this is going to be taken away. And when it's taken away, look at what the word says. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. You're going to be running to and fro.
And I've got a precept on that. Let's go to the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 12. The book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. This right here is the mic drop. They're saying, right, in those very last days, right, where everything breaks loose, the oppressors are going to find any reason to get rid of the Bible, whether it's changing to communism or whatever, changing doctrines of the country, or just straight up saying that the word is hate speech, right? Which is going to be some people's arguments. To whatever it is, it's going to be gone. It's going to be taken away, just as we said before. Right here, the book of Amos, chapter 8, verse 12, is saying that we will wander to and fro, right, from sea to sea, wandering and looking, but we're not going to find the word, because it already needs to be inside of you. Yes, and you're probably saying, well, didn't the Lord say he's going to put it inside my head? Well, yes, he did. But in this day, which he's referring to, right, that's not going to happen yet. You need to already have it in your head. That's referring to the wilderness. Right here, this is saying that in these last days, the end times, where things go down, wars might start, Israelites start getting sent to any sort of matter of horrible camps. Think back to Stalin or whatnot. And that time, any sort of horrible camps they'll put us in and try to force us to blaspheme the word of the Lord. Well, you got to remember that you are to bow to nobody and never blaspheme his name. You need to be a fool for Christ. Meaning, right? It's in the book of 1 Corinthians. You got to be ready to die for him.
Con. So understand this thing, Israel. It is to you that while you have this opportunity, you need to study this Bible and let it sear into your mind. You need to start following God's laws, statutes, and commandments. So saith the Lord. And with that, shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.